Hello, I'm ALIDA RAYNOR, inventor of a new kind of yarn which creates color work as you knit it up without having to change colors. I call it Raynish Yarn Mosaics. In my other video, I showed you split yarn, which is right here, and I mentioned that each stitch is the same on both sides. So both sides are bright blue, both sides are dark blue, etc., etc. You never see a stitch here that is different on one side as opposed to the other side. This yarn is also split stitch yarn, however in this case there is a difference on one side of the yarn as opposed to the other. On this prototype you can see that the patterns are very different. So you have a slantwise pattern going on here, and back here is the beginning of a diamond. So what I've done here is half of the stitch is a chain stitch. So we have a crocheted chain gray, and then here it turns into a crocheted chain pink, and then it moves back to gray. And then the other half of the stitches is that single ply yarn. So you see how that looks. And each stitch is connected at the ends, again preventing that stitch from moving anywhere. It's not going to shift, and therefore your colors are not going to move out of place. This yarn is staying where it's supposed to stay. With this yarn, I've chosen to do double knitting again. So you have the knit stitches on one side and the knit stitches on the other side, no purl stitches. And that's just because with the knit stitches, the pattern comes out so much more clearly than when you are looking at purl stitches. So that's why I prefer to show off the pattern with knit stitches more often. Now, because the two sides of each stitch are so distinctive, with the single ply on one side and the crocheted chain on the other side, it makes it really easy for the knitter to know where each side of the stitch goes. So as long as the knitter remembers that all of the single ply goes on one side of the project and all of the chains go on the other side of the project, and they knit the appropriate amount of stitches per row, every color will land in its place perfectly and the pattern will emerge. Of course, when the manufacturer is creating the two sides, they don't have to use chain and a single ply. They can do any variety of textures, of types of yarn. My suggestion would be to make the two sides distinctive so it's easy for the knitter to know which side goes where. As always, if you're interested in creating this yarn, contact me.